Hi there. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. I know I'm a little bit early, but I just realized I have a nervous dog here and she was sleeping so soundly. So I thought, let me get moving before she gets a little restless and then I got to run back and forth to the door. I just shared this with my VIP group. If you are not in my VIP group and would like to be privy to more creativity, inspiration, and insider information, comment VIP below and I will send you the link to my free Facebook VIP group. Okay, this is our oval. And a year or so ago we had ovals, but they were made out of wood. This is actually our Couture Boutique chalkable surface. And obviously I've put a design on this in the last couple weeks, but I'm going to actually show you how to remove this design and reuse this. And this, being that it's on the Couture Boutique surface, which is like a white chalkboard, could be in white or in black, but the ovals are in white. It's totally erasable, so you could make a mistake, clean it up, and do it again. Or you could put a design on it like now, use it, and change your mind, tire of it, wash it off, use it again. Set it up for the holidays, wash it off, use it again. You get the picture. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can erase or remove chalk paste from our Couture Boutique surfaces. And excuse me, I've got a little bit of paste on this is my board scraper. You can actually scrape the paste off when it's dry. Now remember, our chalk paste goes on liquid, but dries to a hard finish. It can be rejuvenated by the use of water, which brings me to our second way. So you could scrape it off with this little board scraper, which is pretty quick, but then you're going to have to do a little bit more cleanup. My favorite way to actually remove an image from our chalkboard surfaces is to spritz it with a little bit of water. And then I use my board eraser. It just seems like it's quicker to me. And I feel like I have a little bit more control. So you just spray it with a little bit of water. Obviously, if you have a frame, you want to make sure that you don't get the frame wet. My loose chalk powder that I was scraping kind of blew into my stand there. So I'm going to let that sit for a second or for a minute or so and show you what transfers I'm using tonight. I'm using two different transfers. They're a combo. They do not, you could buy them individually. This is Welcome Home. And this other one is Welcome Numbers. Oops, let me change it around. Welcome Numbers. So what I'm going to do is make a welcome sign. I've had this for a while and I put off doing it. And yesterday I noticed that our address sign in front of the porch that I made a number of years ago, Home Depot, a bunch of brass numbers, whatever, and I stained the wood, and probably my first sign, it was a while ago. Anyway, I stained the wood, pounded the nails into it, whatever, and we had a sign because Mom said we didn't have an address sign out front and we needed it. If you do not have an address sign with your actual address on the front of your home or your garage, please consider adding it. The last thing you want to do is be in a position where you're waiting for an ambulance or a fire truck or a police car or whatever for someone to come and help you and not be able to find your address. And I live in a small town, but believe me, I've seen them go down the wrong way to a dead-end street, not knowing where they're going. So any edge that you can give yourself, get that address so that you're protected and prepared. This is my board eraser. It's kind of like, I can't think of what the name of the brand name is, but it's ours. I'm just going to spritz this with a little bit of water too, and I am going to remove this image. And watch how quick. I'll try not to shake my table. Watch how quick and easy this is. Sorry. Car door with my hand. I've got some screws and a plate from what I did. I had a horrible spiral fracture, so it's a little hard for me sometimes to hold something down strong enough with that hand. So let me grab a paper towel and wipe this up. Almost there. I love using the board eraser. It's great for taking images off of our surfaces. It's also good for cleaning your transfers. How do you like that? Double duty. I generally don't use it on the sticky side of our transfer or stencil, but I do use it on the top. Okay, let me check this out and make sure it looks pretty good. Not pretty good, I want it to look very good. I see a little bit of like a tan here, so let me just make sure I got that all off. And then we'll just jump right into this project. Like I said, I know I was starting a little bit sooner. If you missed the cleaning of or the erasing of the design, just rewind and take a peek at it if you've never had to do that or you're curious as to how easy it is. When I first saw someone make a mistake and erase the image, now I've got a little bit of ghosting here that I could faintly see. So because of that, I'm going to go over it one more time with my board eraser. It's probably just the way the light's hitting it, but if you have any ghosting, like a very fine image, just go over it with a board eraser a little bit of elbow grease in there, and it'll come off. Obviously, this doesn't work on wood because wood is porous and will absorb the pigment from your chalk paste. Okay, so I'm good to go here. Now, let me get my fuzzing cloth, and we'll get started with the chalking part, right? So anyway, when I first saw someone make a mistake and erase what their little oops was and fix it, I was like, what? Kathie, who makes mistakes all the time, it's like, that's right up my alley. It's like, count me in, sign me up. I'm there. I'm happy. So it's lots of fun. I mean, I do sometimes use wood. I use different types of surfaces, but I have to admit our chalkboard and metal and mirror and glass and anything that I could erase it from just seems like it makes things so much easier. Obviously, if you make an oops on a piece of wood, wipe up what you can and just repaint it and use it again. Don't go throwing it away, right? There's ways around things all the time. So what I'm doing now is deliberately putting a little bit of lint or fuzz from this fuzzing cloth on the back of the transfer, because our transfers, you can see, are adhesive backed. They're made out of vinyl and silkscreen, and you see through the silkscreen. And when we apply the paste, it goes through the silkscreen onto the surface beneath it, and that's what gives us this beautiful clarity. So I think I'm gonna do the top and the bottom first. If it looks crooked to you, let me know, because my lighting isn't really good here for me the way I've got my camera and everything set up. I'll lift it, but I think I want to change this a little bit. Nope. Uh-oh, I bothered the little girl. She's trying to decide if she wants to take a nap or if she wants OUT. I should be careful. I've taught her how to spell. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to do welcome to our home, and you could adjust this if you want. There's wording where you could use welcome to my home or welcome to our home, whichever is appropriate. And I cut these apart, but obviously I didn't fully cut this, so let me finish that up here. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line and let me know where you're viewing from. Tell me about what the weather's like by you. We're in for a string of rainy days, and the air's been kind of hot and heavy and sticky and too early in the season. It's June. It's not July, right? So again, I'm going to fuzz this before I apply it. The fuzzing diminishes the stickiness of it, and it's really not that big of a deal when you're on our chalkboard, but if you're putting this on something extremely smooth like glass or mirror or metal, you want to fuzz quite a bit, because the longer it sits, the longer it's going to stick, and it's going to be harder to lift off. I learned one of my first projects, seriously, I got this bright idea. I saw someone doing a Christmas tree with these beautiful presents underneath. It was just absolutely amazing. It was like an 18 by 12 size transfer, which, you know, I did play around on a little chalk chip and tested things out first But then this is what my real project was, this large project. And I decided to put it on the back door window, right? Because you could put it on glass. Why not? What better thing to do? And there's a screen door that would protect the glass from any of the elements. So that's what I did. Well, it actually worked out fine. It was beautiful. However, when I went to lift it up, it was a little bit of a battle. I had to tug at it a little bit, and I wanted to be careful. You don't want to use extreme force lifting up your transfers because you could actually distort the silk screen. So just treat them with a little respect. Be nice to them. And if you're going to do anything on glass, just fuzz, fuzz, fuzz. I need to actually put something underneath. I need to move it over. I need to put something underneath this because it's sliding around on me. Ooh, probably because I had a stir stick underneath it, right? Hello. Okay, let me line this up again. Okay. And I'm going to use some kind of, I don't know how to describe them. I'm not using anything really, really striking. Our house is brick, and it's kind of a yellowish brick, so I was kind of what colors. I'm going to use eucalyptus, this Sunset Drive, which is more than a peachy. It's a very pretty, I can't say orange, it's a peachy, peachy guava kind of color, and bark. So let me think. Oh, and then I want to add these little flowers. I'm going to leave the numbers for last because after I have all the rest of the transfers down and everything arranged and everything's chalked and dried, I'll put the numbers on, and it'll be easy just to line them up based upon what's around it, if that makes any sense. But whatever works for you. You know, sometimes you find a better way, and I say go for it. Oh, I think this flower is so pretty. I was going to do this almost only in the sage. Do you think maybe I should do the flower bud in maybe the maybe I should do the flower bud in the sunset? It just really is a pretty, pretty cherry color. Let me know what you think. Drop me a line and give me a suggestion. I'm always open to suggestions and whatever else. And if you have any questions, just jump right in with them. So let me fuzz this a little bit. I have to decide where I'm going to actually put it, but I don't know. Should I do the flowers in another color, or should I just do this in this light green eucalyptus? You bet that, Kathie can't talk. Eucalyptus. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. Sometimes it's good to get a second or a third opinion, right? Now the flowers are kind of almost like the mirror image of each other. So when you line them up, you want to make sure that you line up the right one on the right side and the left one on the left side, because it curves this way and then the other one curves the other way. Let's get this up. Oops, I didn't cut all the way through that. Okay. I don't cut my backers anymore. I used to, but I found that by not cutting the backer, should probably have it on my surface, I'm able to keep this white sheet in one piece, and I put my transfers after I've cleaned them back on there, and the sheet, this backer sheet, holds them in one piece so that when I'm flipping through my transfers looking for something that I want to reuse, because our transfers are reusable over and over and over again, it just makes it easier for me to see them when I could see the whole thing. Just one little piece of thread in there that I'm not getting. Hold it just right there. We go. So anyway, some people ask me how I store my transfers. I originally started using a portfolio thinking that would be good, but I found quite soon that portfolio was a little bit heavy and unwieldy. So I ended up getting an armoire, and I just actually hang them on a hanger. I started with shower hooks and then those little clips with the little hook on it. Found out a regular wire hanger works fine because our transfers come in these cellophane envelopes with this little hole at the top. Hanger goes right up through it, hangs it, holds it in one piece, and I can flip through and see what I'm looking for. If you're ever not sure how to clean or how to chalk, or if it's been a while, all of our transfers on the cellophane envelope have the instructions right there. If you're confused, send me a PM or drop me a comment, whatever. I'm glad to help. Okay, let me get this other flower, the foliage of the flower fuzzed here, and we'll get on to the actual chalking. I'm running out of space having two transfers out here at one time. Okay. Now I want these to actually be somewhat symmetrical, so I'm going to put it down and take another look at it and see if I have to do any adjusting here. I'm sitting in a different chair, which has really been strange because it's lower than what I'm normally sitting, and I don't really like sitting on a cushion. I need a little booster chair. And I'm not short, so I don't know, whatever. I'm going to change this just a little bit. I want it a little bit closer to the edge. And then obviously you can use our little, oh my goodness, my mind just blanked and I forgot the name of it. Our little tool to punch holes on it. I don't know if I'm going to actually punch holes, and what I'm going to string it with, I could string it with a piece of jute, a piece of velvet ribbon, whatever. Anyway, let's get on to the chalking. So I'm going to do the foliage in the eucalyptus, and I'm going to show you how to conserve your paste packets. So I'm going to come back to that. In the meantime, I'm going to do the Welcome to and Our Home in the Sunset Drive, which is a beautiful, warm, I can't say peach, guava. It's just a very warm, pretty color, and I thought it would look nice on this. So I'm just applying the paste over the silk screen with my squeegee. Ooh, I've got a bunch on the back there. Paste goes a long way, and I want to make sure that I don't go off my transfer onto the surface. If I do, I could just clean it up with a paper towel. Easy enough to do, right? Sometimes I get in a hurry and whoops, go right off the edge. We have placement tape if you are working on something where things are kind of close together and you want to block out part of it. Our placement tape goes great for that, or for even protecting your edges, like if I was afraid of going off the edge here. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up the lines, removing the excess paste, and I'm going to come down here and do the Our Home. And by the way, both of these transfers, the numbers and the Welcome Home, are in our special section on the website right now, so they're greatly reduced. I absolutely love this. I think it's so pretty. Obviously, you don't have to put it on an oval, but the shape and the curve of the letters and the wording here go great on the oval. Okay, I'm putting the excess paste back into my jar. Where's my lid? Put something somewhere there, right? Okay, so I'm going to do peel and reveal, lift these up. And I usually lift up pretty slowly, because if I miss part of a letter or something while I'm still attached here, I can lay it down and finish chalking it if I spot something that's missed. Otherwise, if I miss something, I'll have to wait till it dries, clean the transfer, lay it back down over it, and then just catch it on the flip side, right? That's fine, easy enough to do. There we go. They both look very, very nice. So, let me show you what I'm going to do with the paste. Our paste comes in these 3-ounce jars, or they also come in these individual packets. And if you're using the packets, you want to massage the paste a little bit. I open it from the bottom instead of the top, so I squeeze all the paste down to the bottom. I mean to the top, because I open it from the bottom, if that makes any sense. So I just kind of squeeze this down, but massage it a little bit first. I squeeze it down before I open it. Oops, I've got some up here. Now a little paste does go a long way, so you'll find that you don't need a lot, and why waste the whole packet? And I open it from this side because if I opened it on the color pack or the color block, I wouldn't see that anymore. So I like opening it the opposite side so I could actually see that color block when I'm looking through my packets to know what color I'm selecting. Easier to see. And I'm just going to insert my little stir stick, which I just got guava on. Okay, clean that up. I'm going to insert it in a little packet and scoop out a little of my eucalyptus. So I really don't have to use much here. Well, a little bit more than I got there though. Let me try that again. I grabbed some on it and I felt it, but I'm actually, maybe I didn't cut that open enough because I'm scraping it off when I pull it up. Okay, that's much better. So I'm going to put some here and put some here for the leaves. Might need a teeny bit. Oops, that's too much. I know it. Okay, and then I'm going to use another squeegee. And be careful not to get the actual flower up here because I'm going to do that in the sunset. So just spread it over the foliage part. Oh boy, do I have paste all over me already, don't I? Okay, smooth that out. Remove any excess. Let me do the other side. Just want to get the edge of that a little bit, which I missed that over here. Let's see if I can just get, here we go. Okay, easy peasy. Grab a little of my sunset and just do that flower. Watch you don't put your hand down on the lettering like I almost did. Okay, let me get the other one. Sometimes I have to turn the surface around to adjust. I like pull my squeegee towards me most of the time. So you do what works for you, right? Okay. I stuck my hand right over the lettering. Ah, and I missed something there. Obviously, okay, I'm going to have to fix that. And obviously, I'm going to have to fix here. Isn't it good to see when I make mistakes so you know how to recover from them? Okay. First, I need to clean my fingers real quick. Get the paste off of them. I'm going to set this aside to dry a little bit and just kind of wet a paper towel so I can clean my fingers instead of me running over to the sink. And let's see, I need to fix this area, but I could come back and get that later. And I need to clean this transfer because I'm going to clean it and then reuse it. So I'll show you how I clean them. Normally I would take the transfer over to the sink and run it under water and probably use my board eraser. But I'm not going to do that because it wouldn't be on camera, right? So let me move this out of the way, grab this little, which one did I do? I did the right one is what I missed. Okay. Whoops. I had it just attached to the side of the table. Okay. Spray it with water. Now, my transfers won't stick to this mat, not real snugly. If you are on a glass mat, definitely spray the back of your transfer or your stencil with water first, because you don't want it sticking, just like it would stick to a mirror, right? Then I take my board eraser, and I usually would do this in the sink, and just clean off the paste. Isn't that easy? Quick and simple. I like using a disinfecting wipe to finish off cleaning it, and of course to do the adhesive side. So I've got my little disinfecting wipe here. Whoops. Now I need to take the paste off the back. So I need to clean it. I don't like using the board eraser on the back because it is adhesive, it's sticky, and I don't want to pull any of that adhesive off. So I'm just a little bit more careful when I do the back. And then once I've got all the paste off of the silk screen, I just go back over it in one direction to pull off any of that lint or fuzz that I deliberately applied, because the next time I use it, I want it to be real sticky again. So that's all there really is to cleaning your stencils or transfers. Now I'm going to set it aside, sticky side up, to dry. And let me clean up my surface a little bit here. Boy, did I make a mess or what? And you could kind of speed dry your transfers too. Let me show you how to do that. Our fuzzing cloth is terry on one side. That's the side we use to put lint or fuzz on it. The other side is a microfiber, and the other side's really good for drying like a chalkboard and getting any streaks out of it, but it's also good for speed drying your transfers. Lay it down on the microfiber side, sticky side up, fold it over, press it gently, squeeze out any moisture. Ooh, and you can tell it's really sticky already. So I'm going to set this aside just for a moment to dry a little bit longer, and then I could use it. So let's see, I have to repair the home. I might leave that alone and not bore you doing this, but I will repair this area in a moment. Yeah, I'm going to just leave that. Otherwise it's boring to watch. I'm sorry. I'm showing you how to do it. Once you have the technique, it applies no matter where. But I am going to clean up a little bit of paste that I've got right here on the edge before it totally dries. And then when I do fix this, I'll probably erase the whole letter O just with my paper towel and whatever, and then I'll clean the transfer and put it back down. But I'll do that off camera. So let me move this aside for a moment. I want to fuzz this transfer, this little transfer with the foliage, because I'm going to fix that area that I missed. And then I'll show you how to take care of your paste packet so that paste will last you for multiple projects. Oops, and if you ever squish up your transfer where you've got a wrinkle or you've got it stuck to itself, be careful, just go gently and pry it apart, no big deal. If you can't get it pulled apart without putting any force on it, bring it over to the sink and wet it with cool water, and then just kind of nudge until you get it unstuck. Okay, so I want to line this up. I don't know how I missed that really, but I really missed it, didn't I? There we go. Line it up, smooth it down, and all I did was miss that one area. I've got a little mist up here, but I'm not going to worry about it. You can't really see it. So, got a little bit of paste here. Just go right over it. How simple and easy was that, right? Okay, so now the letters. I'm going to put this aside to dry. I'm going to fuzz my letters. Now, nice thing about this is you could make this for your home, and what if you move? If you buy a sign that has the numbers or your address attached, you're going to have to buy a new sign. But with our chalk paste on this surface, all you have to do is lift off the wash off the numbers, and put your new address on. How simple is that, right? I'm going to do the numbers in the bark. I figure it'll look nice and striking against the white. And let me show you what to do with this chalk paste. Now I want to take the stir stick out and leave as much paste in there as I can. So I kind of squeezed it at the top. And then again, I want to push the paste down. I don't want it coming out the top. Some will come out, a little bit of squish when I do this, but you can see there's still a lot of paste in there, right? So we want to save that paste. We don't want to lose it. I'm going to take the paste packet and fold it over a couple times, and then you could secure it with a paper clip, with a little a binder clip, some washi tape. I was going to use our placement tape. This is our tape that we could use to mark something that we don't want to chalk, kind of like a washi tape. So I will just put this over it so it stays nice and airtight, and I could use the rest of this. It's more than a half a packet's left, so I could use the rest of it on another project, right? Why waste it? So save your paste packets. Easy enough to get a lot of use out of them. Generally, the packet's good for at least 2 projects or more. It depends obviously on what you're working on. Okay, so let me fuzz my numbers because I'm going to have to line them up there. And then we're almost going to be done with this project, right? Generally, I do not fuzz multiple transfers on the fuzzing cloth at one time. One time I did that with like some flowers. I had a bunch of little flowers, and I got called away, and for whatever reason, and when I came back, they were really stuck to my fuzzing cloth. I mean, it didn't hurt them or anything, but you don't want them sitting there for an extended period of time, right? Okay. Now, these numbers have little half circles at the top and the bottom, and that's to help you align them. And let me show you how you do that. First, I want to fuzz, and I'm going to use the 1 first. And I suppose the smart way would probably have been to do a chalk line here. To make sure I had things lined up nice and straight. We'll see. I don't know how that's going to fit. We fuzz the second number. Well, you know what? I'm going to chalk that first. I'm trying to decide, do I want to or do I want to lay it out a little bit? When I put this together, when I eventually chalk it, I'm going to make a circle with those 2 lines. So I want to line them up here, but I want to see from left to right if this is going to fit properly. So let me just experiment a second here. I know this isn't perfect. I'm just getting a general idea here. Whoops, I'm a little bit on an angle. I'm going to have to straighten that out. Let me get that out of there. Like I said, I'd probably snap a line with a ruler here. My vertigo that I still have, can you believe it? It's definitely allergy related, does not help at all. So if you're a little dizzy like I am right now, you might want to snap a line here to make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, I'm going to use the bark. And I'm going to actually go over these little half circles when I apply the paste. And you'll see why in a second. I don't have to do the left side, but I definitely want to do the right side. Now see, I've got the little half circles. That's going to help me with the spacing of the numbers from left to right. Let me grab my little dryer here. This is our little drying tool. It is not a heat gun. You don't want to use a heat gun. A heat gun will be too hot. But the drying tool is basically focused air. It doesn't get real hot, a little warm, and it speeds up the drying. Our paste will generally take 5 minutes or so to dry, unless it's our shimmer paste, and that takes about 8 minutes. The shimmer takes a little bit longer. Definitely don't want to put that by the laptop. I almost did. Okay, let me take a look at this. Okay, goodness, I have paste all over me. Okay, next number. So I am going to line up my number and make a circle here on the top and the bottom. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I will do the lines, the registration marks on the right again, so that it'll help me line up the second number. Isn't that cool? They make it so easy for us. If you can butter toast, believe me, you can chalk. All you need are the right tools. And Chalk Couture definitely has them. They make doing a project a real dream. Quick, simple, and easy. Oops, I just went off the board, off my letter. Let me do a peel and reveal here. We'll take a look at that. And I will clean that up right now. Actually, I'll probably get it with this. There, got it. It's like I need a piece of paper towel, don't I? Okay. So let me dry the 6. I'm so glad things are cooling off around here a little bit. Yesterday it was 87, and with the humidity as high as it's been, it was kind of nasty, right? Now, if this is not lined up perfectly, I could obviously remove the numbers and do it again. Or add another flower, like if it's not balanced or whatever. You know, what's Bob Ross say? Happy accidents, go with it, right? I've got the fuzzing cloth on my lap. Okay. Want to line up my circles again. My hands are getting warm because it is a little warm in here. Cooler than yesterday, but it's still a little warmer than I'm comfortable with. I had to bring this closer to me to see it. Eyes are getting at that point where I probably need bifocals, right? Okay, I've got the top, and there I've got the bottom, but it's sticking to my finger. Okay, smooth it down gently. You want to make sure you don't have any air bubbles, because if there's an air bubble, the paste won't go through evenly. And I'm going to show you another little trick here, a real quick one. And yes, I have to definitely be quick on this part of it. I'm going to lift this up, and I need to use that again. So I'm going to set it aside. I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to try and get a second use out of it without cleaning. Dry this real quick. Make sure I don't dry my transfer, because I don't want the paste to dry in the silk screen. I want to be quick about it so that I could get by without having to wash it in between. I'm not an impatient person, seriously. Might be a little bit hard aligning it. I have to kind of see if I can see through that silk screen. We'll see. Okay, so I almost did it upside down. Okay, so now I want to line it again. Okay, I think that's good. Oops, and I have to be careful of laying that down because obviously it's got paste all over it. And let's wrap this up. Obviously I don't have to do the registration marks on the right because, well, you wouldn't know that, but this is it. This is the full address. Oh, dang. The paste actually started drying in the silk screen. So that's why when I lifted it up, it came up, some of the paste came up with it. So a little repeat here, right? Let's clean this up. I was just trying to save time. Sometimes accidents happen, right? Sometimes, if I'm really quick, if I probably didn't have to dry that in between, it would have been fine. I've used a transfer like 3 times in a row real quick, especially with flowers and things like that, and I didn't have any issue. But this was, with the drying, it was probably just a little bit too long. It was starting to dry. That plus the heat in here. Okay, let me clean off the back. We'll speed dry this too, but I want to make sure I get the paste out of everything. Oops. The lint off of it. Speed dry it on the microfiber side. Put this aside to dry, sticky side up for a few minutes. Let me go after my board and clean that up. I just need to get another paper towel. I generally use baby wipes to clean my fingers, but you never want to use baby wipes on your transfers because the lanolin or whatever is in them will get rid of the stickiness, and you don't want that. So, it's still pretty wet. Oh, and I have to do my O down there, right? Now notice I'm not getting rid of those registration lines. So I'm going to try and use those to line it up again. Sorry, my hands are a little wet, so I want to be careful here not to smudge any of my paste. Like I said, our paste goes on liquid but dries hard, but if you get it wet and then rub your hand over it, it's going to smudge. If you create something that you want to, you want it to be permanent forever, once you're done with it, just spray it with a nice clear, either a matte or a satin or whatever kind of sealer that you want, and then you won't be able to erase it, and it'll stay no matter what somebody does. Otherwise, I generally recommend to people just dry dust their creations. I'll fix the O on my own time here, right? Okay. Let's fuzz this a little bit. I've got the fuzzing cloth on my lap, so know that I'm fuzzing it here. I'm grimacing a little bit. It's stuck to my fingers too much. Here, I think that's straight. Okay. How do you like that? Now, there's these little things called Swispers, I think that's the name of them, that generally, if I had, oh, I do have one sitting out here. I'll show you what they look like. They have, I've got paste all over my fingers, forgive me. They have a pointy side and they have like a paddle side for cleaning these little marks up. I'd make a little puddle of my water here, put the little pointy side in there, and then just come back over here and clean them off. How easy is that, right? No one's going to know they were ever there. Pointy side is good if you've got any feathering and any bleeding from something. Or you could use the end of our detail tool once the paste is dried and you could just kind of etch that off. I might not clean all of this. I might just try it with just getting rid of what's here and coming back in, laying that transfer back over. I think that's what I'll do here and see how that works. Instead of wiping out the whole letter, I just need to add a little paste. So I'll do that later. Wasn't that quick and easy? Yeah, I'm a little off. Maybe I'll add another little flower here. I realized I probably should have started the one a little bit to the left. If you're unsure, just measure and whatever. Quick, easy, less than an hour, right? And if I move, I could just spritz it with water, spritz the inside, and redo the address over. How sweet was that? And I think these colors turned out really, really nice with each other. I want to give a big shout out to my new Perks members. Thank you so much for joining the Perks program. We're going to have a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And going to be doing a little bit more patriotic things in the next few days or so. So watch out for that. If you would like to be in my VIP group, again, just comment VIP. If you've ever thought about, I wonder what it's like to be a designer, it's a blast. Comment to team and I will send you some information. Obviously, no obligation whatsoever. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. See you soon.